And obviously, there's now no more Josh Gordon. And I thought there were reports on Friday that N'Keal Harry, their first-round pick, receiver out of Arizona, who I think is a flat-out stud, some reports that he was preparing to play last night. Did not happen. He's been on IR for the first half of the year. So you don't even have N'Keal Harry last night, but you did have Mohamed Sanu. What am I seeing so far from Sanu? Who I've not watched closely over the last couple of years. He's been very good, but now suddenly he's sort of going to be the featured receiver. What did you see last night? I saw just another possession receiver with no real ability, no burst to separate, No burst.
He's a smaller Josh Gordon.
He looked like a smaller Josh Gordon. He looked like a less quick Julian Edelman, And again, Tom had pretty good rapport with him, and he threw him a bunch of balls. He caught a bunch of balls, but he never really threatened or hurt the Baltimore defense. Am I right? So it's still pretty much Edelman or bust, with an occasional throw to Philip Dorsett or to James White. Brady threw one nice ball up the rail. Up the boundary. Okay, and so that's all you got. And now you remain without your left tackle, Isaiah Wynn, and without your center, James Andrews. And all of a sudden, they could not protect Brady, and he has nobody who can really threaten the defense. So what did Baltimore say? What did Wink Martindale say? You can't run it, so we are going to run after you, Tom Brady. We are going to come after you every which way but loose. We're coming from everywhere. Blitzing, Earl Thomas got in the blitz package. He was all over Tom Brady. And we know, especially at age 42, heck, at age 22, Tom Brady was not mobile, So he cannot escape that kind of pressure. If you give him time, he'll pick you to pieces. And they did have one run through the third quarter where they went no huddle. And all of a sudden, it looked like they were starting to wear down and wear out the Baltimore defense and keep them off balance enough they couldn't substitute. And it was harder to throw in your blitz packages because you just have to play your base defense, whatever it is, because he's coming right after you. And he got on a pretty good roll. So now we get to three crucial plays. Early fourth quarter, after he's on a good drive, he's completed passes of 4, 11, 3, and 9. So he's moving fairly well here. You can say it's a lot of dink and dunk, but that's pretty much his receiving core. So now it gets to be 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 48. And he throws maybe his worst ball of the night to Sanu. If we could see this, please. Almost picked.
Almost picked. It should have been picked.
Okay. So that's the first hint of, uh-oh. And then Brady gets angry in a good way on the next play. And what does he do? He throws the ball of the night, his best pass of the night, right up the seam to Benjamin Watson and hits him right in the hands, and he drops it. And Tom Brady is furious because that's a field goal right there. And I'm going to remind everybody at this point in the game, it's only 30-20. So if you catch that ball, it's going to be maybe 30-23.
Skip, he could have gave him a better ball.
I thought that was a great ball.
Skip, Marcus Peterson.
Oh, that's it. That hit him right there.
Skip, Marcus Peterson is playing 2-by-1. Give him a better ball.
You can't throw it any better than that.
Yes, you can.
That's his best ball of the night. I'm sorry. That's big time Brady.
If that's his best ball of the night, that explains why you lost by 17.
Which led to, you could argue, his worst ball of the night. Tom Brady threw a mad ball. He just got frustrated and sick and tired of no protection and nobody getting open. He said, watch this. I'm just going to fling this as far as I can, because he thought Sanu was going to break stronger to the end zone, and Sanu kind of pulled up, and so he just cuts loose in the face of another on-rusher, and he throws a punt right to Earl Thomas. Just threw a punt right to Earl Thomas, and that is the ball game, ladies and gentlemen, because after that, here comes Lamar Jackson on a long, what was it, a 14-play drive for the touchdown? And the defense just could not deal with Lamar and company.
Hold on, wait a minute. Now you know what it's like to be Patrick Mahomes when your defense gives up 30-plus points. You know what? And no matter how well you play, there's nothing you can do.
Because with Matt Moore at quarterback, that defense is playing its
tail off. About Matt Moore.
I know, but that you just brought it up.
What about your guy?
So all of a sudden, it looks like the Kansas City Chiefs said, we got to raise our level. We can't just wait on him to make some, all-time great play.
Okay, when the offense is going to raise their level in New England?
Interesting.
When is the offense going to carry their weight?
No run game, no left tackle or center, nobody who can separate in the receiving core, no N'Keal Harry, no Gronk. And I'm waiting, is Gronk, you know what, Tom Brady's probably on the phone as we speak to Gronk saying, we got 2 weeks to prepare for our next game, we got to bye. Gronk, you got to come save me. I was with you all those years, you got to come back and help me.
Whoa, Skip.
He needs somebody to throw to.
So now we want this. Eric Fisher, the left tackle's out for Kansas City. The right guard, the left guard. Everybody gets to miss, but Tom Brady needs all his pieces.
All those guys are out, and Matt Moore did that.
He'd a go.
Wow.
Well, go.
He's eating, man. He actually played pretty well last night.
No, he didn't. Stop it.
He did. No,
Stop
he did.
it. Hold on. You mean to tell me on his first 3 possessions, he had 1 first down while the Ravens had 17 points?
They're all over him. No quarterback. Patrick Mahomes would have been in big trouble last night with that kind of lack of protection.
Jenny, now we're going to talk about this. Now, remember you said that they were all over him. Now, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers in a little bit. Now, I want that energy. That energy you just had right there, they were all over him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought he was the MVP. I thought he was a transcendent.
I know who's not the MVP. But how about this here? Last night, Tom Brady, 6.2 yards attempt. That would be the equivalent of Sam Darnold, who would be dead last in the NFL. That's what he is. He is a dink and dunk
Aaron Rodgers had a 4 yards per attempt. 4 yards? Wait a minute. Aaron Rodgers had the worst QBR in football yesterday.
Tom Brady. We'll get to Aaron Rodgers. We'll get to him.
I know, but you always change the subject and say, what about this?
No,
what about this?
Ain't no what about. What about your guy looking like the 10 man?
Wait a second.
Oil him up. He needs some WD-40.
Wait a minute.
He need to oil up, Jenny.
Tom Brady had a QBR of 53. Aaron Rodgers had the lowest of the whole weekend. He had a 14,
if you don't mind me asking,
14 for
he had a
Aaron
53.
Rodgers?
If you don't mind me asking, what did that get him?
Yeah.
A 17-point L. Now, you keep telling me, and he threw another interception.
One mad ball.
I don't know what it was. I know it was an Earl Thomas ball.
Yeah.
So, Skip Bayless, at some point in time, you see what happens is that anytime you critique his game, it's almost like you're trying to take away what he's already accomplished in the past. That's not what I do. You might have got to...
I didn't say anything about his past.
No.
I'm talking about his future.
This is the way I do it.
Yeah.
You might have gotten an A in trigonometry. You might have got an A in advanced calculus.
I never took any of those classes.
But you're in history now.
Yeah.
And what you're going to do in this class.
I made A's every history class I ever took.
Yeah, I'm the history guy.
Oh,
I'm the history guy.
Yeah,
but you got what, Skip Bayless?
English history. I was a double major, English history.
I believe that.
You know what, Skip Bayless? Well, since you know history, you know what's going to happen.
Yep.
This is not going to end well.
Really?
This is not going to end well.
That's what I heard all last year about history. I heard you week after week after week after week on this show say, he's finished. He's washed up. He's an old man. He's got to just say, this is it. I'm packing it in after this year. Do you remember what happened last year? In week 2, they lost at Jacksonville 31-20. These are the Patriots. Week 3, they turned right around and got embarrassed at Detroit 26-10. Do you remember that one? Week 10 at Tennessee, they lost 34-10. What was the score last night? 37-20, 34-10 at Tennessee. Which is more embarrassing? I don't know. Maybe the one at Tennessee was more embarrassing. Then they turn around in week 14, and thanks to the Miami Miracle, they blow the game. Belichick blew the game at Miami, and they turned right around the next week and lost to Pittsburgh. And that team, I don't know how, it won the Super Bowl.
If you don't mind me asking, when is Gronk coming through that door?
Well, I
just
told you, maybe in the next week or so.
I had to sit down.
Yeah.
Gronk is in no position to play football.
Okay.
No.
A lot of things going to have to change with his body. It's mainly like getting back into the weight room.
Okay.
And lifting some heavy iron. But Skip.
Well, you don't know. Maybe he'll be a wide receiver this time.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
Oh, are you that desperate, Skip?
Yeah. I got nobody.
Skip, the thing is that when the Ravens are running the football like they are, you know the possessions are going to be minimal. Because you don't have big play, quick strike capabilities, it's taking you 11 plays. So now your 11 plays compounded with their 14, their 15, their 13 plays, all the times off the clock, you're already down. Skip, this game, you know you were heading for a 45-7 game without those 3 turnovers. You know what this was heading. You know what this was heading.
I don't know about 45-7.
Skip, this is about to be over. The Ravens' offense was in that rhythm, and I don't know what Cyrus was thinking.
Cyrus Jones.
I don't know what he was thinking. He's trying to field the ball. He's on the right, and he's trying to field over. Come on, bro. You know you got to get up under the ball. You stop trying to be that Dion. That Dion would catch the ball all over here and catch the ball up here like somebody threw him a pass. Bro, stop that. And then Mark Ingram turned the ball over, gave him short fields. That's how they got it, Skip. Short fields. But when they had to drive, and Skip, you saw at the end of the game, Wink Martindale, he up there with the defense.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, y'all got to see this. Y'all got to see this drip. He did that for you, because you drip Bayless. He said, let me see this. Let y'all.
He did.
I noticed.
And you know what? He deserved it.
Hey, and then he hit Jenny. He pulled the chain out so everybody could see.
He did.
And then hit him with that piece.
Oh,
He did.
the confidence.
Oh, I said, Wink, don't do him like that, Wink. Skip.
I love
Y'all in a heap of trouble.
Y'all?
Y'all in a heap of
I'm
trouble.
Mr. Brady.
No. I can't let you off the hook like that. Because you tell me, I say I'm a LeBron fan. No, you got to be with Cleveland. No, you got to be with the Lakers.
I want to remind everybody that Chef Shea predicted 27-17 Patriots last night, right?
Yes.
So, I don't know, maybe you didn't see the flaws. I certainly didn't see them because I said 30-14
Skip,
Patriots.
I saw the flaws, but I also had no idea. Skip, we've never seen anything. Coach Belichick normally, when we saw, after they won the Super Bowl, after they beat Atlanta, and we saw Kansas City go in there, Skip, we didn't know Hunt could do what he did.
Okay.
And so he caught him off guard.
By the way, let's put this in perspective. So let's go back to 2014, September 29th.
Right.
They went to Kansas City.
Right.
And they lost 41-14.
Right.
And they went on to beat Seattle in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then it was opening night of 2017. Kansas City went to Foxborough. And it was it was 42-27 Kansas City. So they've had these things happen before.
But Coach, normally we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything about Hunt, so we didn't know what type of back that he was. I think he was a third-round draft pick. But Skip, you know what the Ravens are. The Ravens want to run the football. They're going to run it with Ingram. They're going to run it with Lamar Jackson, and that's what they're going to do. This other guy, Edwards. Skip, that's what they're going to do. And for Coach Belichick to allow that to happen, now, Skip, Lamar Jackson is different. He doesn't look that fast, but he's slithery, and when he steps through a crack, Skip, he's over. I mean, I've never seen anybody accelerate. You talk about your boy Kyler can accelerate. Skip, he put his foot in the dirt. He made one play, Skip. You know, they had him, and he got the ball. I don't like him holding the ball like a loaf of bread. He got it dangling all around. But he made up his mind, says, you know what? I'm finna get to the left. Skip, when he stepped through that crease,
he stepped. It was a whoosh.
It's hard for the cameras to catch him sometimes.
I agree. And by the way, speaking of Lamar, this is another Belichick note. Usually Belichick is all over the tiniest little detail.
Yes.
And it took NBC to point out that on pass plays last night, at least, Lamar was reaching behind him.
drying his hands.
Drying his hands. And so it was a tell. It was tipping your pitch, so to speak, right? So at least Belichick, if he was really breaking down the tape, or his two sons, Steve is now the new stealth defensive coordinator, right? And Brian is still on the staff, he's a younger assistant. But again, they're breaking down tape. They probably knew run or pass last night, and they still couldn't stop this.
Well, I don't know if maybe that's the first time, because that was the first night, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first night game, if I'm not mistaken, for the Ravens. And so it was a little damp, it's a little cold, so you want to make sure your hand. But I tell you what, if you do that again, Coach Belichick is going to know. Because Skip, because guess what? They're going to get that TV copy. And they want to hear because you get the TV copy because you want to hear his audibles, you want to hear the checks.
Sure.
And you also like, okay, so every time he puts his hand back here and does this, they're going to throw the football. But Skip, he threw the ball better than I thought. There are some times that he got down 3/4 and dropped his side angle. There are times that he went over the top. He threw the ball. I think he surprised Coach Belichick with how well he threw the ball.
I would agree.
But his running...
He doesn't throw it downfield that much. They're all what you would call dink and dunks, but they are deadly accurate dink and dunks.
A couple of those, he hit Mark Ingram on a dead run in the flat and gave him an opportunity to turn up. And that's the difference, Skip. I mean, you could throw it low and the guy catch the ball, but he hit him dead stride up the sideline he was going.
Bottom line, do I think this is a very flawed team? I do. Maybe they don't have enough talent to fix it, but whatever they can fix in this 2 weeks now, they'll fix it.
They have the bye.
You want to go to the restaurant?
Yeah.
Billion.
Yeah.
Wait, are you writing them off? Are you saying?
Skip, they're on the bye week.
Yeah.
I think we might talk about it one more time, and then I'm gonna let them have their peas. But I got to. But you know, Chef Shea back at it again, Oscar style. I do them L's Oscar style. What I do is that I open them up on a hot flame, little little butter. Ooh, you can have it how you want to.
Oh.
If you want that for a guar, you want hollandaise, so however you want it, Skip.
Whatever you need.
Yeah. I do. I serve a mean nail.
Oh,
I just can't quite get comfortable how you celebrate your own losses.
Skip, let me be. Can I be a chef for a day?
yeah,
I wanna be a
please do.
chef for a day.
I have a feeling the Browns paid a visit. They've been busy visiting you. What in the world is going on in Cleveland? We'll discuss all the angles to the Browns dysfunction next. And don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.